that says we are going to be
Yeah,
live streaming this. So everyone should go ahead and accept. All right, we are live streaming.
all
I'll turn it
right.
over to you.
First of all, thanks to everybody who has participated thus far, the points of contact, the community members. And the purpose of the meeting today is that we're going to come to consensus for district science resources. As has been suggested, please have an open mind because the committee may land on a choice that is not your individual school's first choice. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the data from the focus reviews, and we thank you for considering the initial review data. In addition to the materials that Ms. Dixon mentioned, we are not adopting forensic science at this time as well. So we're going to pause after each resources is reviewed. And if anybody has feedback, whether it be ESE, community member, a point of contact, please raise your hand and Dr. Lawson will let us know and you can unmute. And we welcome the feedback from anybody on any of these resources. And finally, we will poll. Dr. Lawson will put up a poll so that we can come to consensus for our district science resources. I suggest the points of contact in particular might want to jot notes down as we go through because we may need to have some input from you on the rationale behind the school's participation or the school's information on that particular resource. If there are any questions so far, would somebody please raise a hand? And if not, we're ready to go on to just a general slide about what you're going to be seeing. So, number one, you may see blanks on some of the slides or dashes. We have schools that don't offer particular courses. For example, St. Augustine is an ACE school. We have 2 IB schools. We have some schools that offer only a standard course or an honors course and not both. So if you're looking at blanks, that's why. For the pie charts that you're about to review, blue exceeds expectations, was what was input into EdCredible, green satisfactory, orange unsatisfactory, and red little or no evidence for one of the 5 designated areas. So we're going to take a look at anatomy and physiology. Okay, we had 3 resources that were able to be reviewed, and they're titled there across the top in each of the boxes. The 5 areas that were reviewed at the schools were the content, how did it align to the state standards? The teacher support materials, did everybody feel they were sufficient to impact student learning? The differentiated or instructional supports, the assessment tools, and the digital platform org, meaning the format or organization of the digital platform. So you're looking at the 3 different materials. And on the next slide, we're going to take a look at what the summary of school input was. So Ponte Vedra is the only school that offers a standard anatomy option, but by school, these were the choices in the first lineup there for the honors material. Goodhart-Willcox and McGraw-Hill. And for Ponte Vedra High School, the standard input there was Goodhart-Willcox. Anybody want to make a comment on any of the materials that were reviewed? Okay, we're going to take a look at biology. course, all the resources are important, but this is super important because it is an end of course exam. And you have a minute there, you can look at the 3 different suggestions that were offered up for review. These were both standard and honors at most of our schools. St. John's Technical High School is the only school that only looked for standard materials. On the next slide, you're looking at the overall school feedback on these materials. The first column is the honors course information. St. John's Technical did not have any input into that. And for standard, you're looking at the choices that the teachers made. Savas is the Miller-Levine book. The McGraw-Hill is Florida Biology. Any input on any of these materials? Josh?
Yes, good morning. One thing that I noticed about the biology book, and this is kind of true about a lot of the publishers, is that with the, how do you pronounce that, Savas? The Savas material, is difficult to get from the, if you're using the website, it's difficult to get off of the website, the quizzes and stuff like that. Some of it kind of lives there, and so if you want the students to use it, you have to get them on the website, whereas with McGraw-Hill, it integrates better into Schoology, which is the platform that we use. Also, if you just look at the apps on Schoology by popularity, the McGraw-Hill app is more popular than all the other ones. So it looks like when it comes to usage, teachers are actually using the McGraw-Hill app versus the other ones. I didn't really see anything as far as National Geographic, but so as far as electronic resources, I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, and I'm going to welcome the opportunity to take a look at the Savas platform because we're currently using, well, we were currently using it, but perhaps it's something that we can mention to our IT folks here or to the rep who's been a longtime rep. Thank you for your input. That's important. Anyone else have some input? Okay, thanks, Josh. Let's move on to Earth Space. Not offered at every school. There were 2 selections that were up for review. National Geographic, the Cengage, and McGraw-Hill. And by school, so we have 4 schools that tag Nat Geo and 3 schools that tag McGraw-Hill. Anybody have comments or input on these? Okay. So we're going to move on to marine science. Earth Space, by the way, is only offered at the standard level. Marine science is offered at some schools in both standard and honors. Some schools only offer standard or honors. And there were 2 selections here. Again, Cengage, Nat Geo, and McGraw-Hill. And if we take a look at the feedback, we have several schools that do not offer honors marine science. So here, the schools that do offer honors tag Nat Geo for 3 and McGraw-Hill for 2. Whereas with standard, it seemed fairly, McGraw-Hill seemed to be a fairly popular choice. Anyone have feedback from their teacher participants or any feedback from the community members? Okay, honors physical science. This was pretty simple. The state only offered up one resource for review. So not surprisingly, when we look at the individual data or the data from the individual schools, Dr. Lawson, can you advance? I didn't even put down the schools. This is the only option offered for review by the state. Okay, physical science honors. Again, this is not a course, or physics honors rather, I apologize. This is not offered at every school. So the three choices, Pasco, Savas, and McGraw-Hill. When we look at the individual data, we do not offer standard physics. When we look at the data from the schools, thank you, Dr. Lawson. We have second choices there. Pasco was chosen by 4 of the schools. St. Augustine does not offer honors physics, nor does the technical high school. Beachside will not be offering it anymore as they are an ACE school. So there you see your first and second choices for resources by the teachers. Anybody have any input on Physics 1 honors? Okay, Dr. Lawson, if you're ready to poll.
Yes, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for the poll, so I'll do that now. For the high school science poll, there are 10 questions. Please answer all questions. Once we have the number of results, I will end the poll and share the results. The poll has been launched. If you do not see the poll on your screen, please unmute and let me know.
Okay, the only school that will be voting for anatomy standard will be Ponte Vedra High School.
Okay, before I end the poll, Marna, I will ask to make sure we have the appropriate number of votes for each question.
Marna,
Good
Hey,
morning.
Robert.
I mistakenly clicked the anatomy standard and I can't unclick it.
Oh, no. Okay, well, Diane will take it into consideration. No worries.
I just saw anatomy and clicked it. I didn't see that notice to honor. So, yeah.
Yeah, no biggie.
I did the same thing too, so.
I did
We
as
c-
well.
We can sort through the results.
Marta, Ponte Vedra doesn't offer Earth space. Do I leave it blank?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're close to having everyone vote for everything. So what I need for you to do, if you are a voting member of this meeting, if you can please give, actually, thumbs up will go away. If you can please raise your hand when you have completed your voting, that is going to help me to make sure that everyone has voted for every subject that they are meaning to vote for. So when you've answered all the questions that pertain to your school, then if you will raise your hand, that will be very helpful. And if you're not finished, that's okay. Take your time. I'm not going to end the poll until I see that everyone has completed it. All right. Ms. Patel, did you have an opportunity to vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, my vote should be there.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and lower everyone's hand. It looks like everyone has completed the voting, and I will end the poll. And then I will share the results. Okay, I'm going to share the results right now, and then I will read them out loud. You should be able to see the results on your screen. If you're watching on our live stream, I will share the results. For Anatomy Standard, we have 3 out of 6 votes and 50% going to Goodhart Wilcox. 1 out of 6 votes at 17% going to National Geographic Learning Cengage, and 2 out of 6 votes with 33% going to the McGraw-Hill, Florida's Holes Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology. For question 2, Anatomy Honors, we have 7 of the 8 votes, 88% going to McGraw-Hill, Florida's Holes Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology, and 1 out of the 8 votes, 13% going to Goodhart Wilcox. For Biology Standard, we have 6 of 10 votes going to Savas, Florida Miller and Levine Experience Biology. 3 of the 10 votes, 30%, going to McGraw-Hill, and one of the 10 votes or 10% going to National Geographic Learning Cengage. For biology honors, we have 6 of the 9 votes or 67% going to McGraw-Hill, 2 of the 9 votes or 22% going to National Geographic Learning Cengage, and 1 of the 9 votes and 11% going to SAVAS, Florida Miller and Levine Experience Biology. Earth Space Science Standard. We have 5 of the 7 votes or 71% going to National Geographic Learning Cengage, and 2 of the 7 votes or 29% going to McGraw-Hill, Florida Earth Science. For Marine Science Standard, we have 7 of the 8 votes or 88% going to McGraw-Hill, Florida Marine Science, and 1 of the 8 votes or 13% going to National Geographic Learning Cengage. For Marine Science Honors, we have 3 of the 6 votes going, or 50% going to National Geographic Learning Cengage, and 3 of the 6 votes or 50% going to McGraw-Hill. For physical science, we have 7 of 7 or 100% of the votes going to McGraw-Hill, Florida Physical Science. For physics honors, we have 5 of the 7 votes or 71% going to Pasco Essential Physics, 1 of the 7 votes or 14% going to SAVAS Florida Experience Physics, and 1 of the 7 votes or 14% going to McGraw-Hill, Florida Physics. Ms. Fox, I'll turn it over to you for discussion.
Diane, I want to go back to the marine science poll.
The honors that's tied, or the one for standard?
Honors that's tied. According to what I have 6 schools who offer marine science. Was there a vote from someone accidentally is what I'm wondering?
There are
Or-
only 6 votes for that. There were 6 votes for marine science honors. 3 of them went to
And
National Geographic.
what I'm showing is that only 5 schools offer it, so I'm wondering
Oh.
if it was a community
Well,
member, was that,
We do
or-
have community members too, so
are you able to see who voted?
I'm looking right now to see if there is.
I'm just wondering if someone, a point of contact, put in a vote when their school did not actually review the material. And if not, we're gonna have a revote.
Okay, hold on one second. Locate that question. That's marine science honors. Do you,
Also- While you're doing that, if I could ask the points of contact to look over their materials, because the McGraw-Hill selection was clearly the choice for standard, but here for honors, we have a draw between Nat Geo and McGraw-Hill, so I'd like to hear from a couple of the points of contact so that we can repoll for the honors choice.
okay, I'm going to stop sharing the results and investigate what you're asking me to investigate. If you want to go ahead and have that conversation while I'm doing this, I'll also have to create the additional poll for the marine science. So
Yeah.
it'll just take me a minute. So I'll let you do your discussion and I can investigate.
That's
Can you
fine.
tell me the schools that you expected to vote for that question?
Bartram, Beachside, Menendez, Ponte Vedra, and Tokoi.
Ponte Vedra and
Okay, can
Tokoi?
I ask, Meg?
Hold on. I just want to make sure I have the schools. So Bartram, Beachside, Pedro Menendez, Ponte Vedra, and Tokoi.
Yeah, Meg.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have only standard marine, correct?
Yes.
Okay, did you cast a vote for honors?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, she's gonna check it. I just wanted to make sure. Same with Laura. And John, I know you have only standards, so I just want to ensure if you guys could come on, Laura from Creekside and Johnny D from St. Aug. Did you mistakenly cast a vote for honors by chance?
I don't think I did.
Okay,
I don't think so either.
okay. So, Robert, do you have some feedback on the Nat Geo book from some of your participants?
Yeah, I have a little bit of feedback here from our Marine Honors teacher. So she did like it because of the support materials that were available. And I'm trying to look at her scores here. Her content and digital platform seemed to be what leaned her towards this book
Okay.
more than anything. So that's what I'm looking at.
Okay, because we're gonna have to have a revote, I'd like everybody who does have the honors course, so that would be Bartram, Beachside, Pedro, Ponte Vedra, and Tokoi. Christina, do you have any input from Eric on the Nat Geo book?
Hey, yeah, as far as the Nat Geo books in general, what our teachers found, and also was true for the Marine, was that they liked that it was scenario based. So it was a lot of like real world examples so that the students can kind of grasp onto those concepts. And that kind of is what leaned them towards the Nat Geo.
Okay. And then John, Ponte Vedra had initially expressed that they liked McGraw-Hill over Nat Geo for the standard, for the honors versus standard. Do you have any input from your Marine teachers, Caitlin and whomever else on?
Lee McCarley.
Yep.
Yeah, they like the vocabulary, they like the questions. There's a mix of tougher questions, easier questions. They like the book, how the book was laid out. The imagery was good. So that's the feedback I have from them.
Okay. And then
And
Josh,
that was for, I'm sorry, that was for McGraw-Hill.
okay. Okay. Josh, also Nat Geo seemed to be the preferred resource from your teacher. Was there feedback on McGraw-Hill versus Nat Geo?
Yes, Miss Hoxima really liked how the the activities that were attached. Really liked how the standards were really how the lessons were tied to the standards, and really liked the articles, how the articles that went along with the lessons, and talked about the writing activities. She talked about how she could incorporate writing activities with those. And so that was her feedback.
Thank you guys, all of you, for collecting and for sharing that. Diane, are you ready with a second poll?
Ms. Fox, I'm just going to interrupt. I would like to make sure that we open it up so that our community member who is here and is a part of this
Thank you.
meeting, Ms. Patel, do you have any input regarding this course that you could share from a community member or parent perspective? Ms. Oh, there you
Sorry,
are.
I couldn't get my, yes, I couldn't get it to unmute. I mean, I would defer to the teachers, honestly. I mean, because I'm not a science expert, but I mean, I will say that the national, just as a non-teacher, the National Geographic books are really just the photographs and the real life experiences stand out. But I also appreciated the feedback about McGraw-Hill. I know that was on the biology books, but if it's easier to integrate with Schoology, and the apps are more popular, then I think, that kind of outweighs it as well. So I know that doesn't help because that's feedback on, on both, but, I just thought I would share that.
No,
Thank
that's
you, Mrs.
absolutely
Patel.
helpful. We appreciate that from a science and community, a parent and community perspective. That's why you're here. So thank you.
Diane, are you ready to repoll?
I am. All right, so this poll is called High School Science Revote. It only has one question. It is just for the marine science honors. So if you will, if that pertains to you, so the 5 schools and the community member, I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll right now. You should see the poll on your screen. If you don't, please unmute and let me know. All right, Marna, we have the 6 votes. I'm going to end the poll and I will share the results. We have another tie. We have 3 of 6 voting for National Geographic Learning Cengage and 3 of 6 voting for McGraw-Hill, both at 50%. We do have a hand raised from Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
What was the winner for the standard book?
I'll have
McGraw-Hill.
Okay, and we have to pick a different book for honors, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, essentially, if we choose McGraw-Hill for standard, we can't choose McGraw-Hill for honors.
Well, I'm in agreement. I was hoping that the feedback from the community and the point of contact participants would be helpful in a revote. Ms. Dixon, do you have any suggestions?
Good
With
morning, everyone. So I would like Ms. Hemingway to clarify the rules regarding honors and standards resources and whether or not you can have the same book for those courses. We want to make sure that that answer is very clear. And once we've heard from her to make sure that we have to choose a different book, then our next discussion would be, remember, we are not voting for the resource that will be purchased. We are actually voting to make recommendations to the school board. In this case, we always make a first and second choice pending the release of the state list, because we always want to purchase from the resources that are approved by the state. And so once we get clarification of that question, what we will do is let's work on coming to consensus now, not regarding which book to choose, but because there are only 2 choices, which book we like that we can all agree would be most beneficial to put forward as our first choice to the school board. The other book would then be listed as the second choice in case that book is either unavailable, the first choice is unavailable, or the first book is not selected by the state, because that's always a possibility. And so I'm not sure if Ms. Hemingway is still available or if she's still on board. Marna, I know we wanted to get clarification. So are we absolutely certain that we have, oh, there she is. Hi, Ms. Hemingway.
Yes. Hi there, thank you. And Ms. Fox, I'm going to also ask for you to chime in on this as well. I do know that we have other content areas that have the same textbook for standard and honors, and we differentiate within our map.
This is not one of them.
Okay, that's what I wanted to check with you, Ms. Fox, because you're more of the expert with the content.
In science, because it's unlike, for example, social studies, which just has the capstone project. In the science, we have a standard book and we have a book for the honors specifically. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hemingway. And so with that information, I'm going to ask Dr. Lawson to relaunch the poll, but this time, the poll should ask which book we are willing to push forward as our first choice to the school board, knowing that the book that remains will be our second choice for the school board, and that it could also be purchased if the first choice becomes available. So remember, again, first choice, we want to think about, whether we're willing to, or whether that book will give us what we need for this subject. Even if the other book is our preference, it's okay to change your vote here, because we are simply looking for a first choice to put forward to the school board, knowing that the second one will also be moved forward as our second choice in case the first one is unavailable, because it's either out of publication or not chosen by the state. So Dr. Lawson, whenever you have that poll ready, we will relaunch and we will revote. While we're waiting, any conversation or discussion regarding the merits of moving one ahead of the other as our selection? Go ahead and raise your hand and we can call on you, those schools or community member, if you'd like to make a comment.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, so it has to be two separate books, or it can be the same book for both?
No, it's gonna be two different books, Ms. Patel, one for honors and one
they have
for
to be,
STEAM.
okay, they have to be separate book, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, while Dr. Lawson is gathering that, I want to go back to physics honors because there was a dead heat in terms of the vote for second choice. So I would like to hear from people on that. And then Dr. Lawson's going to have to post that as second choice. We do that in the event that PASCO is not adopted by the state. We are still waiting for that list. We saw that there was some differentiation between McGraw-Hill and Savas in second choice. So if
Barnum, before
Yeah.
you ask for that discussion, can you just remind me what course you're talking about right now so I can create that poll as well?
physics honors.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Dr. Lawson, this would be a second choice for physics honors.
Okay, I will put the question.
You had
that-
already, you
so it
had
says second
already,
choice.
you had already indicated that PASCO was clearly the first choice by consensus. So we're only looking at Savas and McGraw-Hill.
Okay, I'll remove Pasco from the options and label the question as second choice for that course.
Okay, so going in order by school, I'm wondering, Robert, you're the B, sorry. Was there any input on Savas versus McGraw-Hill from Rory?
I did not get a lot of input from him. I know he did say he liked several of them. But I did not get any specific input as far as that goes right there. Unfortunately, he had a lot of medical issues going on and within and out. So I'm very limited on input from there.
That's fine. I know he's been sick, quite sick. And honestly, the physics teachers are usually extremely low maintenance. They're very happy with whatever they have because they do so much hands-on and it's so math-based. Laura, what did Amy have to say about Savas versus McGraw-Hill? Do you have any input?
Yeah, she just liked the website for Savas better. She felt that the McGraw-Hill website for the online resources was really cumbersome and difficult to find things and deal with things. So she chose the Savas just because she liked the website better.
Thank you. That's really good feedback. For others who had initial input to consider for second choice, Christina, did Jesse have specific input on Savas versus McGraw-Hill?
The things that I got about the McGraw-Hill was that he liked the math topic reviews. It seemed like they were as far as like the background information that they needed for the projects. And the McGraw-Hill had some more like project-based learning, but I did not get a lot of information for the PASCO, which was his first preference.
And Pasco was clearly a front runner. Did he have any input on the Savas book?
Let me look for the paper. I have a few of them
Okay.
here.
Okay. John, I guess Martin and Diane looked over those materials. Was there any specific input on McGraw-Hill versus Savas that might inform the committee's choice?
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I know Martin said he likes Savas. Obviously he put Pasco as the front runner and he put Savas as the second, but I don't have a lot of specifics as to why he put it as the second. You know Martin, and so you know how
Yes.
how he teaches. So I didn't get a lot of feedback on the Savas.
All right. Josh, did you get any feedback from Adam on his rationale for, he actually apparently liked the Savas book and he put McGraw-Hill as the second choice. Was there any specifics from him as to his rationale?
No, when we were looking at the scoring, it was pretty much the same. And when it came down to a choice, they were really, in his mind, equal. So no, did not get any specific feedback.
Okay. Ms. Patel, anything that you'd like to add?
No, I didn't I didn't write anything down on this one.
That's okay. Thank you. All right, Dr. Lawson, if you're ready.
I am ready. I have 2 polls.
Right.
So I have the marine science revote for the first choice that you're going to send to the school board. I'm ready with that one. So just to be clear, this is for marine science, revoting on the first choice to send to the school board. I'm going to launch that poll right now. You should see the poll on your screen. If you do not, please unmute and let me know. All right, we do have 6 votes. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And then I am going to share those results with all of you. All right, as a revote for the first choice to send to the school board for marine science honors, we have National Geographic Learning Cengage, 5 out of 6 votes, or 83%. And McGraw-Hill, we have 1 out of 6 votes and at 17%.
Thank you, Dr. Lawson.
Thank you. I will stop sharing that.
And then the second choice for physics honors?
The second choice question for physics honors includes 1 question with 2 choices for your second choice. And I'm going to launch that poll right now. Ms. Fox, is everyone voting on this? All schools offer this?
No, you should have 6 votes and perhaps a 7th from a community member.
Yes, we have 7 votes currently, so I will end the poll. All right, let me share those results with you. For the second choice for physics honors, we have Savas, Florida Experience Physics, getting 5 of the 7 votes, or 71%, and McGraw-Hill, Florida Physics, getting 2 of the 7 votes for 29%.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lawson.
Thank you.
Before we close the meeting, is there anybody that would like to contribute any other comments or feedback? Well, I want to thank everybody for their time and participation in this process. The committee recommendations are going to be forwarded to the superintendent and the school board for consideration and for a decision. And we thank you so much for your time and dedication to the process.
And I
Thank you,
believe
Ms.
Ms.
Fox.
Dixon has something. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I too thank everyone for everything that they've done. I know this is a long and arduous process that takes lots of time. You guys go above and beyond to do this. There's no additional pay or anything involved. And so teachers, we really, really thank you for your dedication and commitment to this. Ms. Patel and all of our community members who participated, we are eternally grateful for your participation and involvement in our process. Being interested in our curriculum and our schools is heartwarming and necessary. So thank you for your parental involvement. I do want to make sure that the public knows that there were several courses that were listed for review on our website that we have postponed making decisions for. Chemistry, Standard and Honors, Environmental Science, our AP Biology, AP Environmental Science, and AP Chemistry subjects have all been postponed at a later date. So our committee work is not finished. There were some discrepancies in our materials that were provided to schools, and we want to make sure that all of these subjects get a fair shake and that we choose the very best resources for our teachers and students. So we will continue to review these 5 topics, and we will publicly notice another meeting so that we can go through the same process of determining the resources that will be submitted to the school board for consideration for the courses that are on your screen. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of that, and check our website. Go to our www.stjohns.k12.fl.us/media. Click on the instructional materials link and the instructional materials adoption link there, and you can remain updated on all the things that are going on in the world of instructional materials and our adoptions, and become involved. Please give us a call or an email if you have any questions or any concerns. Thank you again for participating in this process, and hopefully we'll see you next year, because we'll continue to adopt materials on throughout the cycle. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.